super accurate because when people make each year 52 weeks, it becomes non-manageable. What if you had one bad day? Oh, it's going to be one of those years. Look at people's enthusiasm in saying good morning or happy new year. Shouldn't we be celebrating each new day as if it's gonna be 100 more years? This is what it's day zero. Jeff Bezos. This is what if you were blessed with one class, one lecture, one Stanford University lecture, lecture 11. Because we're wishing you a happy new year by giving you a gift that's compressed, which is my new friend Kyle bemoaning, Larry, I'm in aerospace engineering. I'm not sure that I'm going to get a job. There are 1,400 people trying to apply for one job. Let's bullet point and recap how to get a great 2026. My notes with Kyle, the Boulder rugby player, networking on floor 3. 1, taking the worst thing and making it into the best thing, 3rd floor real estate. You see, the 3rd floor of the building that we met at, that's the worst piece of real estate, the 3rd floor. That's why the hotel's offices are on the 3rd floor. Dead space turned into yoga, dead space turned into the best space where we met, the tee box. A tee box is taking the worst space and putting up a screen, hitting golf balls into the screen. That's that easy. It's literally that easy to make something go from worst to first. How does it apply to a 4-year engineering degree in aerospace engineering? How does that apply? It applies because you're getting mentored by a person called a college professor. They're disconnected. They're disconnected because they have an agenda. It's not to help you graduate with the highest starting salary. That would imply that there's a bell curve. That would imply that some people are going to get non-equitable results. Me, I'm not about trying to get everybody to have the #1 highest starting salary at the University of Illinois. I'm about having one person get 1% better. How low is that bar? It's super low. But that's okay because this is our first video. Let's continue summarizing. Leaving a voicemail message. When was the last time you left a voicemail message? The reason leaving voicemail messages works is no one leaves voicemail messages. The reason leaving a voicemail message works is you have an engineering degree. You should tell people, hey, I'm a problem solver. Let me solve a problem. Will you give me one internship? Let me into your company. Please hire me. But in a sophisticated way that shows leadership, assertion, and being proactive. This is how to close a deal over voicemail. Hello, rich person, aka CEO, aka millionaire. Hello, rich person. Hello, rich person. Oh, I'm, insert your name. I'm Kyle. I'm Larry Chang. I'm, insert your name. Do you have a person working on the T-Box version for your company? What a T-box is the worst piece of real estate into the best piece of real estate, T-box. I'm at 501 Brazos. Call me back and I'll explain to you how we can marry, carry, insert T-box into your aerospace engineering company. This is me, Kyle. This is me, Larry Chang. 650-283-8008. You see, it's genius to be able to take a golf simulator to turn it into a aerospace engineering solution. Not to go way over your head with engineering content, but there are aerospace engineering space simulators, T-box. A T-box is where you golf into a screen. An aerospace engineering simulator is looking for an Achilles heel and solving that Achilles heel. Next bullet point that Kyle and I spoke on was this. Your college administrator is trying to tell people, hey, you're probably going to be unemployed. Why? Because they're college administrators. They're woke, they're useless, they're just trying to manage expectations. They're trying to make you go bankrupt while being polite. Politely making you go bankrupt. Am I about making you a bankrupt? I'm about 61 days 63 days. It's January 1. Wow. This is day 63 of hashtag 26 days of Grok 4 ducking BK. Your college administrator is perfectly happily going to have you go bankrupt. Why? Because your student loan debt, it can't be discharged. True story. Your student loan debt cannot be bankrupted away. You're going to ride that forever. But if you decide to get a job in aerospace engineering, you can pay off your debt in less than a year. Is this the worst thing becoming the best thing? It really is. I will not be coming to Boulder to do a guest lecture. Go ahead and just play this video on my friend's website, Chad Hurley, Steve Chen. Oh wait, we're already on YouTube. This is the Boulder keynote here it is, which is my conversation with Kyle, how to get a job. No one in your school is going to help you. No one in your school is going to help you. I will, because this shit's super easy for me. This is day 63 of 26 days. So by leaving a voicemail, what you're doing is you're searching for a problem by guessing at a problem. I'm guessing that the third floor of your building is the worst piece of real estate. It is. The reason the third floor is so bad is in a hotel, it's too low of a floor to rent out. Nobody wants a low floor. Nobody wants a view of the dumpster. Nobody wants to be on the third floor of a hotel. Retail dies on the second floor. Retail is going to triple die on the third floor. Retail's barely hanging in there on the first floor. That's called frontage. When you leave a voicemail message, you're poking and prodding and diagnosing a problem. The more detailed you get, the more concise and soundbite that you get, the higher likelihood of callback. Plus, who even leaves voicemails anymore? That would be rich people talking to other rich people. Who leaves voicemails anymore? People that really have something juicy and awesome to say, all of our voicemail messages, they're actually transcribed. They're actually transcribed. Let's use technology for our financial advantage. Let's use technology for our financial advantage. Instead of asking wardrobe related questions of a supermodel who's dressed super well, we should respond to words that were said. It doesn't matter that you're retired, you can still benefit from this content. Larry, look into my eyes. I'm decrepit. I'm barely scraping by. I don't even know who Kyle is. Let's FAGFF. Let's fuck around and get free food. Remember when I said the T-Box? Remember when I said Kyle needs a job? Fuck around and get free food. FAGFF. That's my response to you. Larry, I'm rich, or I don't care about money, but you're stressed about money all the time. You're on a fixed income, Ron. You're 65, retired. Last time I checked, you don't spend $600 on a New Year's brunch for a buffet, eat one piece of grapefruit and say, thank you, the service has been amazing. Can you refill my water? Because here's another problem. I'm at a hotel, the restaurant's closed for breakfast. What? Welcome to a shit economy. I'm in a nice hotel. The restaurant, it's not open for breakfast. Oh, but Larry, I saw your earlier stream. I saw you broadcasting. Do you have a hotel also? This is what it's called to be a double. You're a double person and you have a double residence. Double, double, double. What double, double, double? And we're getting away from Kyle's recap, but this is important. After you get your one job offer, you want to get another job offer. You want to have double. Is this two girls, one cup of knowledge? It's a three-way. You're going to have to pay more attention to one. You're going to have to pay more attention to one. Which one do you pay more attention to? The one that's worth paying attention to. Cheers. Recapping Kyle. Leverage. Engineering topics gone right. Engineering topics misspoken. You see, leverage is, in sports, actually hinging and swiveling. Not my words. Kyle said swivel. You see, the reason we started talking is he was a student athlete wearing UC Boulder. UC Berkeley just rolls off the tongue. UC Boulder, I had to even calculate that Colorado and California are the same thing. To me, it's just a shitty public school telling Boulder graduates, you may be SOL graduating aerospace engineering and then not getting a job. What? Retards. Retards are teaching you this is stand-up comedy. Everything I say is 100% accurate, which is we met because he was wearing a that's a water burp. That's not a gastrointestinal reflux. In fact, that can't be because this restaurant in a nice hotel, it's closed. WTF, why is the restaurant in a nice hotel closed for breakfast? This guy I love eating breakfast butt ass early. I like to see who the other winners are. I already did cardio. I'm here to eat breakfast. I'm hangry. Kyle was wearing, I'm a student athlete. So I heat test them. Hey, student athlete, did you study underwater basket weaving or the equivalent, which is called economics? Because macroeconomics is all bullshit. So if your degree's in bullshit, I can turn you around. But instead, he said, I studied aerospace engineering. That's my field. I'm a space hinger, mechanical engineering, chemical engineering, physics. Have I told you about my physics notes business that I started and made tens of thousands of dollars per week because my co-founder quit because he thought we were getting expelled? That would be a different story for 10 past videos. I've probably told that story 10 times. Kyle, we'll call him that because that was his name. He goes, I'm in aerospace engineering. Done. Done because now we are connected. I know a thing or two about graduating in 5 months with the number one highest starting salary at the University of Colorado equivalent in Illinois, which would be the University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign. The University of Illinois. Larry, why are you wearing a tie? Larry, why are you wearing a tie? You should buy some fresh socks. You should put a tie on. You wearing pajamas until 2 p.m.? Do you know that people that retire, the likelihood of dying is ginormously high? You should go put on that tie that you don't even know where it is because it's disheveled. You should put on a tie and go out in the world in a tie. Happy New Year, Anthony. We're talking about Kyle. We're talking about recapping a conversation with an aerospace engineer. This will double as my University of Colorado speaking engagement. Enjoy playing this YouTube video. Furthermore, after closing an internship over voicemail, that's going to lead you down a rabbit hole of, oh my God, Larry gave this lecture at Stanford University called Let's Get 3 Legendary Internships in a Row. I realize that you're a senior. Ideally, it's legendary internship after freshman year, legendary internship after sophomore, after junior, senior, and then you get a job offer in November, and then you start your job in May. Me, I got the number one highest starting salary job in October. They updated my salary November and January because they're like, oh my God. No way, dude. No way. I don't believe it. I'm going to get to that in a moment. Because I got the job offer October, November. And then Nalco got stressed that I was going to work somewhere else. And they got even more stressed when I decided to tell them that I was going to study abroad, that I was going to move my start date back to August. Who studies abroad after they graduate? That would be this guy hacking the system. I probably made $100 million studying abroad in Shanghai. Don't get angry. Get happy. You should cheer for me. We're focused. We're focused because the whole reason I went to the University of Illinois instead of Stanford, Harvard, or just Stanford, because why would I even go to Harvard or Dartmouth, right? Ew. Why? Full ride, yes. But my dad said I could keep the money that I didn't spend on tuition. So he set aside Yale and MIT money, thinking I would go to Yale or MIT. I decided to go on a scholarship to University of Illinois, and then Tom Chang forgot what he said, and I wasn't going to hold him to it, but what the heck. Unlike Elon Musk, whose father did not have the resources to pay for college, my dad did pay for college. And then when I started making money, he's like, fuck you, you can pay for your college yourself. You shouldn't be starting Duck 9. You should be just focused on engineering. So here's a problem. Kyle's going to graduate. He's a senior. He's going to graduate almost immediately. Larry, how am I going to get 3 internships in a row? I graduate right away. That's a genius question that you have not yet answered or asked. I'm going to answer it. This is how. Why? Because no daddy jokes. It's sugar daddy, reverse sugar daddy. You're paying me $2.1 million in consulting per month, only after you make 2.3. Have you ever made $200,000 in 1 month? I know it sounds like it's a great deal for me because it's going to take me 3 hours to make $2.1 million per month. But you don't pay me that until you make 2.3. That's 200K in a month. Why are you angry that you're paying me 2.1? You're thinking about fucking me. You're thinking about fucking me out of that money. You can fuck me. I won't even know. I won't even know. But you better say thank you. This is what we're talking about. I'm solving your problem. Larry, my name's Kyle. I'm a senior. It's too late for me to get 3 legendary internships in a row, which is why you got to do so many cool things at Stanford University. Everybody thinks that because I'm number 1 in entrepreneurship education, understanding the $0, that somebody just magically plucked me into teaching at Stanford. It was not magical, it was matriculating, matriculative. Do you see why language is important? Because matriculative isn't even a word. We're making it matriculate into a job offer for Kyle. This is how we're doing it. We're going to get 2 internships while you're a student athlete, while you're at Colorado, while we get you not necessarily the number 1 highest starting salary, University of Colorado, but pretty close to it. You thought before you met me that you were going to be unemployed because you were swallowing blue pills by drinking the Kool-Aid that University of Colorado was serving you. You said Bitcoin to me. When you said Bitcoin to me, I got confused because you're so blue pill that there's no way that you're pitching me orange pill. That's bullet point number 9. We're only on bullet point number 4, internship. We're going to get a pop-up internship. And what a pop-up internship was, shut up. You should be paying me $2.1 million because we're going to make that 16K, 200K. Do you see why I can't help? I can't help but make $575K per YouTube video. I can't believe you used a DoorDash. Screenshotting, getting nervous here because this video, I feel guilty. I feel guilty that I'm probably going to make 9 figures. I can't believe that you worked for Stanley Tang's company. Lecture 9, CS183B, Stanley Tang, co-founder of DoorDash. I can't believe that. Internships. The whole thing's driven on how can you be entrepreneurial in getting a middle six-figure job. The whole thing about working in entrepreneurship is how can you become such a great employee that people want to fire you? And I realize that that's counterintuitive. Oh, if you're such a great employee, why would people fire you? This is what the corporate world is wired. And I'm not going to say Jedi in business administration. And I'm not going to say Jew God in business administration. And I'm not going to say Jewish business administration. Because you want to do your job so well that people want to fire you and then you say thank you. This is how corporate is wired. Is its default blue pill. Look at your school. It's trying to graduate you with a really great degree into unemployment. It's trying to do that to you. I didn't make that up. It's just hilarious and dark. Why am I not getting recruited? I mean, you are recruiting me to speak at Colorado Boulder. Okay. These are my lectures. This is all 20 in one lecture. It's driven on internships. Can you get your foot in the door? It's driven on internships. Can you work a paid internship hunting a problem? You deserve, Larry, you deserve $2.1 million a month because I'm going to make 2.3 a month. You make 2.3 a month because you used to work at Ace Hardware. I sold Ace Hardware as a Nalco sales representative, going to Ace Hardware, buying a heat exchanger, and then asking the plant, why are you flushing hot water down the drain? Would you like to do a heat exchanger? You're losing so much BTUs in thermodynamics. The 3 laws of thermodynamics, they're undefeated. They're undefeated. They're undefeated. Benefit from that. Benefit from, hey, you're wasting hot water. I can sell chemical by selling you on the fact that you need an Ace Hardware heat exchanger. And then Kyle said, I used to work at Ace Hardware in the complex tool department selling the complex tools. You should be rich, but then you believed your college administrator when they told you you're probably going to be unemployed. What I'm doing here, which I did not state before, is I'm DJing APIs. You see, Anthony Enriquez is subscriber number 1000. I don't know why my channel doesn't have 5 million subscribers. When it has 5 million subscribers, I'm going to be approaching it the same way, which is speaking to one person, Kyle, which is the magic trick I do, which is perfectly on script for the next bullet point, is an external API. Hashtag external API. Stanford. I was not overstating the fact that my GPA at the University of Illinois was too low to go to Stanford, Harvard. It was too low. What I needed to do was find a front door to walk into, a door that nobody thought to walk into, which is buying a textbook for $3. Hashtag StramGT353, 353 Strategic Management. It's a class at Stanford. It's called Irv Grousbeck. Yeah, the guy who owns the Boston Celtics. Irv Grousbeck. Strategic Management 353. I DJ'd my friend Jeff's website that sells everything. Brad Stone, also my friend, wrote Jeff Bezos started the Amazon store, the everything store. You should buy that book. I've got one for you. Would you like to buy mine for $1,800? Larry, I could just go spend $14 and get the hardcover used. Cool, because I bought Irv Grousbeck's hardcover book used for $3. I determined that Lecture 11 and Chapter 17 were broken. I'm running an external API into Stanford University. I am University of Illinois only. If I had a master's degree, I'd be lying to you by saying I don't have one. Why? Because really rich people go to undergrad for 1 year and then they drop out. Sam Altman. Really rich people go to college 1 year and then drop out. Steve Jobs, Bill Gates. Really rich people go get rich at the University of Illinois, and then they get stressed that they might lose money, so they go ahead and finish with a higher GPA junior, senior year than they did freshman year, because now I had money and I was going to be hyper efficient about getting a higher GPA. I know, I'm really messed up. With the money I was making sophomore year, I should have just dropped out of college. I mean, dropped out of college and then never re-enrolled, instead of the way that I dropped out of college, which is every night because I was crying because engineering, fraternity life, all that vagina was taken down, all that sorority action I was getting from Kappa Alpha Theta, Kappa Delta, AE Phi, KD, Delta Gamma. That was literally crushing me. Taking care of vagina was like a full-time job. Daily Illini, starting Duck 9, being an athlete. Like, it sounds ludicrous. This is how you know you're a double person, is when you're so good at studenting that they don't believe you're on a sports team. And then the athletes that are being athletic with you, they don't believe that you're a student, let alone studying engineering. This is why you want to bait people into calling you a massive fraud, because it's not just rich people singing your praise that works. You have to get retards to tell other retards that you're fraudulent, because then rich people think you're amazing and future rich people also think you're amazing. So we're gonna not necessarily find our own way. We're going to be a Jedi in business administration. We're gonna be a Jew God. We're gonna be a Jew God. And is this where I dropped the Christian joke of Larry Chang should be king of the Jews? Yeah. You saw me pray the gay away. You saw that. Turning around pansexual and neurodivergence. You saw me sell an $800 Bible to Lucifer or one of his followers. Fuck you. Just say sorry, Lucifer, and this whole game will be won. You know you lose in the end. Go ahead and buy an $800 Bible from that dude who was selling an $800 Bible, which is hilarious. So selling something for $800, it sounds counterintuitive. It sounds counterintuitive, and it sounds crazy, and it sounds unhinged. But it's not unhinged, it's super levered. The fulcrum is helping you determine you gotta find your own way. No, you don't. You wanna be a special snowflake. That doesn't work. You think I'm a special snowflake? I resemble a special snowflake, but I'm a cliche knockoff version of Mark McCormack, just without the 5 divorces or 3 divorces. I'm just a knockoff version of Augie Garrido, just with a CS degree on the back door. I'm the guy who mentored Irv Grosbeck for thermodynamics, which is Irv Grosbeck using the phraseology thermodynamic revenue. So when I said thermodynamics 7 times in a conversation with an aerospace engineer, he said Bitcoin. Yeah, my Bitcoin people. I'm like, what did you say? He's like, Bitcoin, it's like magical internet money. He didn't quite say that, but he just enunciated Bitcoin. Do you realize that Satoshi Nakamoto gets sold Bitcoin? Because nobody knows who Satoshi Nakamoto is. That was my Satoshi Nakamoto moment. I was like, Como? What did you say? I said Bitcoin, Larry, thermodynamics. You're telling a person that thermodynamics is Bitcoin to the person who coined the phrase Web 5, where Jack Dorsey gave my presentation without citing me. Was I angry that he stole my Web 5? No. But it was funny when someone said, this is all Larry Chang shit. What about Web 4? And Jack was like, I don't know what Web 4. I missed that Larry Chang lecture. You see, getting an internship, that's Web 4. You see, getting an internship, that's getting an internship, that's Web 4. I love how this is the most genius video that's ever been distributed, and people are throwing vagina. They're throwing vagina. I think you spelled it wrong. I think it's Ashkenazi. I think there's N-A-Z-I at the end. I might be mistaken. Jedi in business administration. You see, we actually want to get screwed by a guy like Jack, not sexually screwed by my Jewish boss, Michael Poole's on-campus marketing concepts. You see, we want to get screwed by a person who might be Jewish, but I don't know, Ed Solomon. Because both of those guys screwed me. Who gave me my JBA, my Jedi in Business Administration, or my Jew Business Administration? That would be Tom Chang. Because I'm selling credit cards to college students because Mark McCormack, he said, go sell something. So I sold Daily Illini advertising during initiation week for Kappa Sigma, Sigma male, Kappa Sigma male, Sigma Kappa male. Jokes upon jokes, let's plow through the content. Web 4 is fiat mining, getting screwed where people steal your stuff. Somebody trying to stand up for me by going, hey, Jack, if you know what Web 5 is, tell me what Web 4 is. Jack did not remember that Fiat Strikes Back is Web 4. Happy New Year! 2026 days of Christmas. Let's go. I'm adjusting my content. Tell me who's in the room right now. Adjusting. Web 4 mining fiat, how do I get an internship? You do a pop-up internship, that would be a temporary internship. You want to do a pop-up internship, you want to get a 5-day weekend internship, pop-up internship. Before you go home to school, while you're at home, you want to do one pop-up internship. Say thank you. This is your pop-up internship. Is you cold call a CEO. Let's use me. Hey, Larry, do you have somebody working on applying digital credit, digital understanding credit knowledge? Duck. Do you have somebody that's connected to Bitcoin with the bond derivative, not derivative, bond action? Yeah, I'm making this up as I go because this is your pop-up internship. I'm making one up for you. You see, Duck 9, deeply understanding credit knowledge, can be converted back to digital underground credit knowledge, STRC, $STRC. I would just call Fong Lee or Andrew. You're fucking welcome, by the way. You're fucking welcome. Why? Because nobody knows what $STRC is. Brady, want to be on video? Brady, come here. Come here, buddy. I want to hold you. $STRC. People get confused by it. People get confused about it via collateral default rope to choke. You're fucking welcome. This is the thing that we talked about. 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 Timing out a mod, that's what Larry Chang does. That's what Larry Chang does. You used to be amazing, come back better, getting amped up. You see, $STRC is stretch. It's financial engineering done by an aerospace engineer. You're fucking welcome. You're fucking welcome, Michael Saylor. You're fucking welcome. Why am I so enthused? Because you should cold call Fong Lee, PHONG space LE. Kyle, you're fucking welcome, dude. I wish I had a mentor like me. Oh wait, I did have a mentor like me. You just gotta find your own way. That's what my dad said. No, we become special snowflakes by identifying a snowflake that we can learn from. Michael Saylor, aerospace engineer. Kyle, meet Michael Saylor via Larry Chang, via my mentor, Fong Lee, and your mentor, Fong Lee. Hey, do you have something that connects $STRC to Duck 9? Or just steal Duck 9. Deeply understanding capital knowledge 9. Avoiding Chapter 9 bankruptcy. Connected to, you're fucking welcome, guacamole recipe number 23, an external API, which is $STRC, external API number 5. I hope you're taking pen and paper notes. External API number 5, which is Irv Grosbeck, lecture 11, collateral default rope to choke. Why? Because $STRC is an infinite money glitch. You said Bitcoin. I was like, well, what did you say? Bitcoin, it's Bitcoin. Do you know what Bitcoin is, Larry? Do I know what Bitcoin is? Asking Satoshi Nakamoto if he knows what Bitcoin is the most Texas of New Year's Day questions. We are all Satoshi Nakamoto. I should be Satoshi Nakamoto. I check all the boxes. Let's check some more your boxes as you get a job with strategy as an aerospace engineer, as you get a pop-up internship with Fong Li and Andrew. Andrew, he's CFO. Fong Li, he used to be CFO. Michael Saylor, he was CEO for 20 years. Area code 202 cell phone number redacted. Go ahead and just call the corporate number, leave a voicemail message. Hi, Fong Li. This is Kyle. I was wondering if you had somebody that worked for you in either investor relations or aerospace engineering relations to go over 3 things: collateral, default, and rope to choke. You see, I've been doing some research. Well, I'll explain to you how collateral, default, rope to choke work, and I'd like to get your feedback on Irv Grossbeck's Lecture 11, Collateral and Default. Here's my phone number, 303-XXX-XXXX. Let me repeat my number, 650-283-8008. Again, 650-283-8008. Fong Li. Don't make fun of the person who is going to make more in 1 hour than you make in 10 years. True story. This is how I know. You see, I'm 6'5", and with my hair, I'm pretty tall-er. When an Asian guy who doesn't say, oh, who the fuck are you, all tall and shit, at a Bitcoin party, I say, hey, you must be a rising star. The number of dudes who become a billionaire within moments of meeting me, which is a year or 3 or a month, is astronomically high. Why? Because I have a secret newsletter that you can subscribe to. It's $2.1 million, which is me responding to your text messaging, pay me $2.1 million per month. Or the free version, which is basically the same exact thing, fuck yourself in the face, and you're welcome, which is pop-up internship. If he does not respond to that awesome voicemail, you relieve him a voicemail and say, hi, it's Larry Cheng, or insert your name. Hi, it's Kyle. I was wondering if you had a product manager that was specialized on STRC, because I'd like for you or your chief of staff to connect me to your product manager who's in charge of $STRC. Why? Because I'm an aerospace engineer and I think I can solve a couple problems. I think there's a couple problems that I can solve. That's your first pop-up internship, is Duck 9 or MicroStrategy. That's your first chunk from Colorado Boulder. You see, what you're trying to do is you're trying to spend 5 days with a informal pop-up internship. Larry, are there other pop-up internships? Yes, there are. I recommend that you look towards technical sales. Hashtag PU internship 1BPC. You might think that selling something on eBay is for dinosaurs. But we're not going to sell, like we're meth addicts, our mom's bottle of soap in order to get cash for drugs. We are going to be sober, selling something that we don't own, and then going to buy that thing. The thing that we're going to sell that we don't own is a Braun power cord. I'm going to repeat the hashtag. You're fucking welcome. Hashtag PU for pop-up. PU internship 1 BPC, which is the number 1, and then BPC, of course, is Braun power cord. These are all on Twitter. Stop with your liberal blue pill and just embrace the fact that Twitter is where I parked 650,000 Easter eggs, if not more Easter eggs. But let's say you don't believe in the Easter Bunny. Know that on one day, there are, just like in this video, 10 Easter eggs. I've been dropping Easter eggs since sophomore year in college. I can't stop. I won't stop. Chang stop. Can't stop, won't stop, Chang stop. I would call up Adam Aron and say, hey, you're CEO, you're rich. You turned around Starwood Preferred Guest. Look around. You turned around Starwood Preferred Guest. It's in the shitter again, but at least you turned it around and made $1 billion. I'm a giant fan of you, Adam Aron, but you're currently fucking up AMC. Would you like to hire me? My name's Kyle. I studied aerospace engineering. Because the worst space at an AMC theater is the bathroom, the shitter. It's always dirty. It's always dirty because the employees, they kind of don't want to clean it because the employees are depressed because the stock's about $1.50. My name's Kyle. I'm making this internship up as I go along this voicemail. Have you thought about advertising Larry Chang's future movies right above the urinal? You see, this will be $0 for you, but I'll guarantee that the bathroom is sparkling clean. This is a pop-up internship. I can't help but birth out food babies that turn into polished gems of millions of dollars. You see, when you have 2 internships, which is your third internship, which we already joked about, this is your third internship. You're fucking welcome, dude. You're fucking welcome, Kyle. Am I the most valuable person you've ever met? On floor 3? Or any floor? No, I'm not going to come speak at University of Colorado. That's a crap school. This is your first internship. It's NFL. What? I am not joking. This is hilarious. You see, you're going to get an internship at the NFL. Why? Because you said swivel, I said hinge, and the NFL says leverage. Leverage, swivel, hinge. Leverage, hinge, swivel. That's your internship. That is your internship. Dear owner Jed York, do you know about leverage, hinge, swivel? Because you met Larry Chang and he's too much of a douchebag to email you, so I'm doing it on his behalf. Who do you have that's solving your leverage issue? Will you introduce me to your product manager or QC? I'm not even making this up. The NFL has QC, quality control. I can't even make that up. So, who's your QC person? I'd like to ask for an internship. I have some thoughts about hinge, swivel, leverage. The CEO is going to be like, I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about right off the bat. And then you're going to say, my name's Kyle. I go to the University of Colorado. I'm a student athlete. I'm about to graduate in aerospace engineering. I almost said physics because the retarded version of physics is aerospace engineering. Good job on your AP test. Good job on physics. Steven Zumdahl, that's my mentor. That's how I graduated. Number one, highest starting salary. No one's ever going to beat that record. All we're doing is trying to be a little bit more entrepreneurial in our job. All we're trying to do is trying to be a little bit more entrepreneurial in the year 2025. All we're doing, Kyle, is trying to be slightly more entrepreneurial in how we ask for a job. The reason we're selling a Braun power cord is you first want to sell one, then you want to buy one. Because rich people, they're barely figuring out how to search for things on Google. This AI thing is way over people's heads. Except for the smart boomers like Irv Grosbeck, he's ripping my content, thermodynamic revenue. Irv Grosbeck said it. Irv Grosbeck is my mentee. do you know how ludicrous that sounds? That's almost as ludicrous. That's actually more ludicrous than Larry Chang, me. Hi, I'm Larry Chang. My channel on what they don't teach you in school. No intro required. No intro required. Which is this ludicrosity. Is that a word? It is. Which is Larry Chang, me, hi. I mentored Tom Brady. I mentored Tom Brady. That's because Tom Brady is mentored by everybody because he's a knowledge sleuth. True story though, I mentored Tom Brady. He won't even deny it. He'll be like, Larry Chang, that guy's a really, really, really good athlete. He's really, really, really good at shortstop. He's really, really good at basketball. He's really, really good at football. Why? How do you know Larry Chang? This is how you know Larry Chang, is we're selling a Braun power cord. We're selling it for over $100, and then we're going to buy it off of eBay for $19 or $20. You sell it first, and then you go buy it. Don't be a greedy fucker and do this like 1,000 times, okay? Don't be that guy. Also, it kind of doesn't scale. So feel free to do it as much as you want. Why? Because nobody knows the Braun power cord part number 7030458. 7030458. Have you met rich people? They don't even know the model of the Mercedes or Rolls Royce that they're driving. Hey, what's your license plate number, rich guy? What city am I in? Oh, I'm in Texas? Which car am I driving? I have no idea what my license plate is. This is rich people in a nutshell. Do you know what kind of car you're driving? Yeah, it's a BMW, I think. What model is it? 7 something. That's how they are with everything. Because rich people, they're not trying to buy more shit. They don't even know about the shit that they already bought. They're trying to own less shit. But the shit that they care about is their German shaver. They don't sell them anymore. Your German shaver refuses to die. Do you realize that there are people driving around 30 20, 10-year-old Mercedes vehicles, the ones that were birthed in Germany, not the Chrysler ones. Do you know that the rubber refuses to wear out? Where you're like, I'm used to owning an American product. Will you replace my rubber, my belts and stuff? It's been X years. And they're like, no, 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 no. You don't have to do that. I'm like, what? That's like not changing the oil, which is why I would never buy a car from a certain ethnicity. Which is actually untrue because, yeah, I just meet a lot of unicorns. Braun Power Cord. They don't know their own Braun shaver model number. If you don't know your own model number, you're never going to be able to buy the right power cord. That's why people are willing to spend $100, because nobody on eBay is providing any kind of customer service. It's just dealing with Jugad, which is some foreign person who's probably trying to rip you off. Craigslist. I'm not going to say at this point in the video that I'm friends with Craig Newmark, because I am. But I am going to say that Pierre's company, eBay, it's got an opportunity for you to juice your dopamine with Braun Power Cord number 7030458. But Larry, I don't have any pictures for it. Text message me, 650-283-8008. I'll send you 5 pictures of Braun Power Cord. So you sell it first for $100. Then you buy one for $20. Worst case scenario, you buy a power cord and a shaver for $30. Welcome to my world. I'm the retard whisperer. So that's wrapping up hashtag PU pop-up, PU, hashtag pop, hashtag PU internship 1 BPC. Moving right along, the reason that internships got me a teaching gig at Stanford is you want to do hashtag LABCS 3373. Whoa, 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 whoa. I've never written down anything in this lifetime. Should I write that down, Larry? You should take 3 pages of notes. Larry, I'm a Gen Y. Get it? That's after Gen Z. Because it's going back to Gen X. Oh, you're welcome. Larry, I just use AI to take notes. Or I use Gemini 3 to do a transcription. When you write it down on hand, your brain wires better. It wires much better. What time's checkout? Fuck them. How helpful has this video been? Somebody can't count to 3 because it's vest and tie 3-piece. Like, what? Like, you literally can't add, dude. You're trying to throw homo shade or page 127, page 132, the rational male red pill. I was once warned, never trust an Asian man in a 3-piece suit. Page 127, page 132. That's beta males trying to tear down an alpha. Rollo Tomasi, page 132, page 127. Once you read those 2 pages, you'll be like, oh my God, oh my God. So what we're doing with it's hard to read. It's hard to read and it's hard to read. It's hard to read and type. It's hard to type and talk. It's hard to do two things at one time. Oh my God, right back on script. You see, what we're doing with AI is we're doing Web 12. What we're doing with this video is connecting Kyle to APIs. You see, just because you're at University of Colorado doesn't mean that you can't learn shit that they taught you at Stanford via Larry Chang's Fraiche yogurt. Steve Jobs likes to eat Fraiche yogurt. I'm going to give you Fraiche yogurt that David Hornick pays for 3 legendary internships in a row. Because pen to paper, hashtag LABCS3373. That's Live Action Business Case Study 3373. Don't take notes in your phone when using Live Action Business Case Study 3373. You see, you're talking to the solo founder of the Uber API. You might say, never trust a person who's 1/3 of the way into a 3-piece suit. Because you said 3 when it's maximum 2. And this is me telling you that page 132 and page 127 matter, not because you're a beta male, but because you can't count to 3. Have you heard that viral song, I Can Only Count to 4? That song's viral. You can't count to 3. You can't count to 3. It's still pinned. I was once warned, never trust an Asian man in a 3-piece suit. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for telling me that you can't count to 3. Good luck counting to 1. This is number 1. You see, the way to name a boat or yacht is you start with a big number and then you count down. You see, everybody who owns a yacht, including Tom Brady's Wager 77, they want a bigger boat and they're never happy in the boat that they're in. It's miserable owning a boat. 2 happiest days, owning the boat and then selling that boat. This is why I named hashtag LABCS 3373 as number 1. Because I was going to start at the end. Because that's jobapreneur. You see, Kyle, all the things that you're going to try to do to get actually a job in aerospace engineering, you could have learned on YouTube via Live Action Business Case Study 3373. In fact, this is another business or another internship for a publishing company. It's called What They Don't Teach You at University of Colorado Boulder. Brady, come here. Come here. Oh yeah, buddy. Oh yeah. Never trust a Chinese guy, because when you call me Asian, okay? When you call me Asian, you're just trying to water down my Chineseness. I'd rather you say Oriental. Why? Because when you call me Asian, you're lumping in South Asians. That includes Vietnamese people, which are awesome, but Indian and Pakistani people, sometimes not so awesome, sometimes kind of dirty. When you call me Asian in a 3-piece suit, I'm going to point you towards LABCS 3373 Jugad. Jugad is funny because Indian people are trying to scam their way into H-1B visas. I had no idea what an anchor baby was. I had no idea the scheming and scamming. What Nick Fuentes got right, what Nick Fuentes got wrong. Let's go, Chicago people. Because what you're doing with LABCS 3373 is you're being an entrepreneur, you're doing intrapreneurship. This is what's not taught at University of Colorado. You're welcome. You should sell this as a franchise to a publishing company, which is what they don't teach you at Blue Pill University, how to get a job. They're trying to lump in aerospace engineers with econ majors. You won't get a job. They're trying to lump in aerospace engineers, chemical engineers with basket weaving. Nobody in basket weaving is going to get a job. Why? Because nobody wants an obese person as their girlfriend. Nobody wants that. There's no such thing as a chubby chaser or a slump buster. Mark Grace has no idea what he's talking about. How student athlete am I with a slump buster reference to not even my friend Mark Grace, to my literal friend Nico Horner, putting Nico in the Gemini 3 algorithm. You see, you remind me of Nico Horner because you are a student athlete teaching me shit. This is how I met Nico Horner, star baseball player, Stanford University. This applies to LABCS 3373. You see, he's a jobberpreneur at Stanford Chicago Cubs. He's a jobberpreneur. He's trying to do investor relations, which is he controls a stock. It's called Nico Horner stock. And he's trying to do investor relations. This is his Jedi in business administration. This is his Jewish business administration. There is no Illuminati. There is no secret society. All the secrets in the world are written in a book. This is how Nico Horner meets me. This is how I met him. He goes, "You're Larry Chang. Thank you for your coverage." He doesn't have a frown on his face. I do, because I'm like, what? You're thanking me for what? Coverage? He's thanking me for tweets that he sees as press coverage. So he's starting me off with the opposite of page 132, the opposite of page 127. Is this stuff that Rollo Tomasi refuses to teach you because his business model is stuck on red pill, red pill, red pill? Guess what? You swallowed 3 red pills and you got tricked. You got tricked into swallowing black pill. I don't think I can say swallow more times and not actually laugh at my own jokes. 3 red pills swallowed is a black pill. Black pill is bad. Here's an example of a black pill. You studied aerospace engineering. Your school, the engineering department, is telling you that you might not get a job. What? 1 year of aerospace engineering is harder than 4 years of any other job. You're telling me I can't at least go get a job as a retard in accounting, in consulting, right? Like, I've watched House of Lies. The best thing I could do is reverse engineer stuff. I could do that. I could do that with half of my IQ 488 brain, which is if you did graduate, which you will, aerospace engineering, you should at least be able to reverse engineer stuff. That alone is a couple $100,000. You could just reverse engineer what I'm talking about because some people get lost. That's a business model. That's what Jack did. He's a billionaire. He went ahead and just was like, I know what Larry Chang's talking about. I'm just going to steal Web 5. And then you kind of want to study more than just the bare minimum. But I get it. You're living the billionaire lifestyle. You go to every Super Bowl. Your name's Jack Dorsey. You're changing your look so often, like Tom Brady, that this is what rich people do who are men. They're like, oh, I need to change my look. Because this is why rich dudes change their look all the time. This is the mistake they make. Is when they appear on media, they get confused because they're always saying something half-baked. And they got to go watch it, and they got to be like, what was I saying? I was drunk and sleep deprived. I don't remember what I was saying. So they change their look to timestamp their thoughts, which is why celebrities are always trying to change their look. And then they age wrong, and then they age wrong, and then they got to pay me to unfuck their thing. True story, de-aging. It applies to internships. I'm an intern. I'm an intern at a Super Bowl party for Mark Zuckerberg launching a TV network. True story, that's not a secret. That's Mark Zuckerberg launching a TV network. His flagship show, he's going to debut at the Super Bowl, Mark Zuckerberg, zuck@facebook.com. Yes, I'm in a selfie with Zuck's mom. It could have been scandalous, but I kept it super tasteful because I'm a Jedi in business administration. I'm also a Jedi in vagina administration. Randy Zuckerberg said, no, you should totally be in a selfie with my mom. That's Zuck's sister, ditto Zuck's other sister, super attractive. Mom, very cute too, we're in a selfie. It's on my Facebook, page 127, page 132. What you're doing with your physics background, what you're doing with LABCS 3373 is you're being a jobapreneur. You're being entrepreneurial in how you get a job. You're DJing APIs. So an API is an application protocol interface. And the innovation in an API, because this is API number 7 in how to get the highest starting salary, is you're running an API, for example, what they don't teach you at University of Colorado about how to get a job. Round tripping this video is your content. Feel free to steal it. This video can be expanded when you connect LABCS 3373 to Web 4, which is fiat striking back. How do I get a job mining fiat? Because that's also Web 4, which is how to get a job to make money mining fiat. Mining Bitcoin is competitive. Mining fiat literally has almost no competitors. Almost no competitors. 3373. I started it there and then I numbered it down. Notably, hashtag LABCS 1459, that's your internship possibility with Phong Le, Phongle. He's CEO of Strategy. most notably hashtag LABCS 3366 Uber, which is me as solo founder of the Uber API. Larry, I'm so confused, but this sounds so amazing. Tell me more about the Uber API. Did you work at Uber? No, I go to parties a lot. And at these parties, these drunk people who may not or may not be drunk, just pretending to be drunk, will say crazy shit like, Uber cab, you can call a limo using your phone. I'm like, call a limo? Call a limo? What? I'm telling you the best way. Which is the Uber API. Learn to ask better questions. Page 62, page 64, page 67. When you learn to ask better questions, yeah, Uber app. Call an Uber. All the executives, Ryan Graves, all the executives, Garrett Camp, all the executives, Travis Kalanick, would say, call an Uber. I realize that I misspeak when I say executives because speaking specifically, Ryan Graves was the employee who was the CEO. Travis Kalanick and Garrett Camp were hashtag non-employee co-F. Non-employee co-founder, once you understand non-employee co-founder, you understand everything about my channel. Once you understand non-employee co-founder, you understand everything about venture capital. There is nothing more clear than non-employee co-founder. Oh, Larry, do you mean something that you think is non-employee co-founder? No, okay? No, mother scratcher. I'm saying it so specifically that there is no substitute for motherfucking non-mother accounting non-employee co-founder. It's just non-employee co-founder. Oh, do you mean a rich person that helps you start your business? No, okay? No. Stop fucking up and watering down Asian with Chinese, okay? That's when we started to go towards bankruptcy. That's why 2026 is going to be a great flood. People are going to die. Stop watering it down. Watered down search fund. Everybody should succeed. By trying to have everybody succeed, 80% of the people or 40% of the people are going to die. That's the playbook. Call an Uber. What these videos are is a life raft because it's the 2020s, 1920s, 1820s, 1720s, 1620s. Am I the only person that can do math in the hundreds? Because in the 2120s, yes, I'm still going to be around. Why? Because Zuck, he launched a TV series called Tom versus Time in Minneapolis. That's a party I want to crash. I have a Tom Brady. I have a Tom Brady. What are you? I have a Tom Brady. Can I come to your... Up, Brady, up. Brady, up. You naughty dog. You're not allowed to jump out. I have a Tom Brady. I want to come to your party. Tom versus Time 2120s. You see, Tom versus Time is a TV series that Zuckerberg launched, that Gotham Chopra directed. Tom versus Time. It's Brady. You could just stay down there, buddy. Brady, up. Come on, you can make it. Come on, there's nobody up here. Come on, up, you naughty dog. Up. Do you want to need help? Do you want me to help lift you up there? Do you want me to lift you up there? Up, buddy, up. If you don't want me to pick you up, up, come on. Three inches higher, and Brady doesn't want to jump. Talk about self-limiting beliefs. Tom versus time. This is how to make money, is you just pay attention and then pay attention. I was paying attention at Tom versus time. Gotham Chopra came up, okay? And I was like, Gotham Chopra, and he was like, oh, this is my documentary. I also made the Kobe Bryant documentary. I'm like, I know Kobe Bryant. Did you do Muse? He's like, yeah, I directed Muse. I was like, wow. Get it? It's the same documentary, Kobe Bryant, Tom Brady, Muse, Mentor. So then I'm like, Gotham Chopra, because I'm sitting in the front row, furiously taking notes. I'm sitting in the front row, furiously taking notes. You're asking me, Larry, what's the best way to help me make money? Why don't you take notes? That's okay. It's okay. Other people will just make money. Gotham Chopra. I raised my hand and I was like, is your dad Deepak Chopra? And he's like, yeah, actually. I was like, do you realize that Tom versus Time is really just your dad's book on ageless body, timeless mind? And he looks at me like I'm the only person who can read or write. That's how he looks at me. Because Gotham Chopra accidentally made a movie about my mentee, Tom Brady, that was Gotham Chopra's book, which is Tom Brady's Regiment. Because Tom Brady just reads everything super fast, kind of like Bill Clinton and Barack Obama, my co-founder in South by South Lawn. You see, what they do teach you at Harvard Law School, where I guest lecture at, is you change one word and you now have a brand new franchise. Maybe you should get a pop-up internship turning around South by Southwest. You see, South by Southwest is bankrupted twice. Barack Obama. We came up with a joke that he said, I made the joke, which is South by South Lawn and South by South Larry. You see, I have a real book that people said was a joke, what they don't teach you at Harvard Business School. People thought that was a joke. I just did what my mentee, Peter Thiel, did, Thiel, my mentee, turning around PayPal. You see, Peter Thiel also did the Harvard-Stanford word juxtaposition. You see, my mentor, Mark McCormack, you ask me how to make money, this is how to do it. You find something awesome and you change one word. Justin, what up? We're mentoring Kyle while taking notes on Kyle's genius shit. Not Kyle Stowers, my mentor, Kyle, my new friend, which is Ageless Body, Timeless Mind, Tom Brady, Tom versus Time, Mark Zuckerberg launching a TV show, turning Facebook into a TV network. Changing one word, Harvard, Stanford. My mentor. Have I mentioned to you my mentor, Mark McCormack? What they don't teach you at Harvard Business School. My book quotes his book in every chapter. Have you heard of my book? New York Times bestseller, What They Don't Teach You at Stanford Business School. Losers and haters got angry because they mixed up what they don't teach you at Harvard Business School, what they still don't teach you at Harvard Business School, what they will never teach you at Harvard Business School, with my 3-book series, 2039 is my sequel. 2009, thank you, Marissa Mayer, I launched my book simultaneously from the runway at New York Fashion Week. How good am I at running external APIs? While Marissa Mayer put 090909 linked to the book as the Google Doodle Marissa Mayer, which is what they don't teach you at Stanford Business School. 2039 is the sequel, what they will never teach you at Stanford Business School, what they still don't teach you at Stanford Business School. Do you see how people get it confused? It's like a shocker. It's like a shocker. Are you shocked right now? No, you're not shocked, because this is why I don't do three ways. 4 arms is an exponentially higher number of arms. Girls can be dirty with their dirty finger. You see, when you're with one girl and she has a wandering finger, you can say, note to self, her left hand, it's out of commission. It was up the chocolate tunnel. Not up it, but just anywhere near it. Whoa. Or in her own. What? Is doing yourself first base, is that even a thing? Because that is the new first base. Note to self, stay away from her left hand. Do you ever have that? Do you ever have that where you're like, can we use my safe word, call a timeout, and then we shower and we wash that dirty left pinky? You know, you guys know. You guys do three ways, right? You know. Do you think I make macro predictions? Well, thank you for, yeah. It doesn't, okay. Thank you for your valuable question. Thank you for your valuable question. Thank you for your valuable question. I appreciate the fact that you think I'm the smartest person in the world, being able to call out market timings. But what makes me the smartest person that you know is that it doesn't matter when that time is. We don't want to spend brain cycles on timing the bottom, because it's going to kind of be a bottomless bottom. Let's focus on some core skills that are irrefutable. Let's focus on some fundamentals of being a student athlete graduating into 2026, where we do more in 22 days of OpenAI at South by Southwest, which is March 1 through March 22, where we do more in those 22 days than other people will do in 22 years. That's how to time the bottom. I'm making you a moderator. You're welcome. You see, what we're doing with hashtag LABCS3373 is we're understanding that I'm the solo founder of the Uber API, hashtag LABCS3366. You see, rich people, they don't need to be called out. Rich people, you don't troll them, you patrol. There's a YouTube video I did, it's called, Are You Trolling? No, we're patrolling. And I know that sounds like Paw Patrol, and I know that sounds hilarious. But look at me. I wore a tie. I wore a tie today. I wore a tie. And it's because we're patrolling for when rich people say things that don't quite make sense. Everyone's too scared to ask. This is rich people's problems. You're not just surrounded by yes people. You're surrounded by people who have no brain and you're all going to go to hell in a handbasket financially. Once you accept Jesus in your life, you're automatically going to go to heaven. Jesus blessed you with your friendship with Larry Chang. I'm the guy who figured out when Christian people would say, pray the gay away. I'm like, what do you mean by that? They had no idea what they're talking about. Me, I figured it out. Rich people, because Garrett and Travis, super rich. Ryan Graves, not so much. Yeah, I knew them separately before they teamed up to be the CEO of Uber. Ryan Graves, Wisconsin. My friend Ryan Graves. Larry, we're just going to have people call an Uber. How do you call an Uber? Well, you know, you use it just through the App Store. Well, why don't you say download the app to get a black limo? Because we are lazy, we're rich, we disconnect adopters. You can't adopt what you don't understand. This is tech sales in a nutshell. I would buy it because it's amazing. I just don't get it. Uber in their literature for 4 years, maybe 4.5 years, just years and years, even going through a rebrand of Uber Cab to just Uber. To a logo that wasn't even a U, people were so mad at Uber's success that the Uber changed into a Chang. Just call it Chang. A limo. Like, look at the Uber limo logo. It's a C. Which is okay. Thank you for all the money. They kept on saying, call an Uber, call an Uber, call an Uber. I'm like, do you guys have a phone number? No, Larry, we don't want to get any calls. I can't make that up. Let me repeat that joke, because this is rich people. This is also blondes who are hot. They'll just say shit that doesn't make any sense. Nobody talks about it because you're a blonde, you have really nice boobs. Me? This is how I talk to a blonde with really nice boobs. I'll be like, what else are you besides really hot, really blonde with really nice boobs? And they'll be like, I have a good personality. Show me. That's how I talk. That's how I talk. That's how I talk. Larry, walk me through that again. Okay, I will. Call an Uber, call an Uber. Cool, you guys. I got a question. And that's bad when I have to preface the question because that's not good. You guys, I got a question. Do you guys have a phone number? We don't want to get calls. Listen, you fucktards. Do you realize that all of your slogans are call an Uber, call an Uber, call an Uber, and you won't have a phone number because you don't want to get calls? This is why some hot women are super single, because nobody talks to them like they're the vagina whisperer. Because did you not just say again, because I just saw you a month ago and I asked you, do you guys have a phone number? We have a 5-digit short code, Larry. We don't want to get phone calls. After the second time, first time, fifth time, or 10th time, I'm going to do what I do to hot blondes with really big boobs. I'm just going to solve your problem for you, because that booger that's hanging off your nose, that's way less of a problem. Maybe that's vagina mucus from the last three-way, and you're just trying to advertise that you and your girl want a three-way with Larry Chang. Maybe that's not a booger. Maybe it's something else, sticky. I have to incorporate this or else I get bored talking about this, because call an Uber. Guess how I solved their problem? I solved it with 415-720-8500. That's how I solved it. I just installed that as a phone number so people would try to call an Uber like a bellhop. Someone would try to call a Tyler Uber, Amber and Matt's kid. Amber Uber, Matt Uber, they created a kid. His name is Tyler. Can't even make that up. He was worried that he wasn't going to get a full ride to Stanford because he was worried. And then so he started saving money when he was a kid, Tyler Uber. After he graduated Stanford, he grad transferred to Notre Dame. Is their phone number 415-720-8500? No. You call that phone number as a bellhop. You call that number from a Starwood preferred guest. I'll get you an Uber. You call 415-720-8500. I haven't had an 800 number, but people didn't trust the 800 number. They wanted to call San Francisco. Fine. Saves me money. 800 numbers used to be expensive. When they called me, I would say, I'm texting you back. Sometimes I wouldn't even pick up. I would just text them back a link that would open up Uber in Steve Jobs' App Store. True story, Mark Benioff gave Steve Jobs the App Store because Mark Benioff registered that concept and he gave it to Steve Jobs for $0. This is what billionaires do for other billionaires. You owe me. I felt guilty because every user who signed up calling my phone number, 415-720-8500, I would make $60. And then on drivers that would sign up, I would make even more than $60. I was making tens of thousands of dollars per week. And then I would tell them, I'm kind of making a shit ton of money. Do you want to have a phone number? No, we don't like getting phone calls. I ran that Uber API for almost 2 years. This is the world in a nutshell, which is rich people, their lieutenants don't have the confidence not to call them on their bullshit, but to just to have a first principles aerospace engineering discussion. I sold so much chemical at Nalco Chemical using an Ace Hardware heat exchanger. Why would you want to sell Monday through Friday? You do. But why not also sell on Saturday? Has this video been helpful? Hashtag LABCS3366. Turning around AMC Theater. Would you like a free share of stock? Hashtag LABCS 1453. Can't stop, won't stop. Chain stop. That's got a hashtag too. Turning around GameStop. Ryan Cohen. Did you just mix up Larry Cheng with Larry Chang? No, it's basically the same 6'2", 6'5", 6'7" Chinese guy. Ed Chen, Bruce Wang, Larry Chang. Founders Fund. Fund of Founders. Do you realize that Founders Fund is actually a fund of founders? Because Founders Fund is actually a fund of LPs. Am I the only one asking some pretty basic questions and then answering them by making $2.1 million per month? From you to me. Ed Chen, Bruce Wang, Larry Chang, AIVCs at Fund of Founders. Is that older than Founders Fund? Yes. It's because you don't need money to make money. I am Peter Thiel's mentor. You're welcome. Thank you for not stealing from me because your class, CS183, came across pansexual, neurodivergent, and then you got your situationship, Sam Altman, to teach it CS183B. 2 minutes after Stanford Engineering launched CS183B, I did every letter in the alphabet because I coined Web3 2 minutes after I learned what Web2 was. Tim O'Reilly, Mark Pincus. Is this a Silicon Valley HBO episode? Mike Judge? Let's respin up that franchise. Pooping out tentpole franchises. Let's redo Silicon Valley by getting you a job out of University of Colorado. Kyle, did I miss anything?